Yo, what up, what up? Mike Hill, the Wholesaling Titan here. I am back showing you how to flip houses for massive profits even if you have no cash and no credit. Now in this video, I want to talk to you about selling your property. Specifically, we're selling them to cash buyers. I want to show you why I not only have a large cash buyers list in terms of quantity, but also a highly qualified cash buyers list. Also, I have a website most of you are probably familiar with, cashbuyersdirect.com, where I have this information. Lately, I've been getting some questions about it, some of not my favorite questions, but I do want to answer those and kind of provide you guys some clarity and show you how to use this information. So I'm going to kind of walk you through this in real time. If you guys saw my my email that went out to my buyers list recently, you see I've got a property on here, and I'm going to show you how we are looking to sell this thing. So this is the actual email. This is a deal I have in Polk County. That's the one I want to be looking at today. 304 Central Avenue. The asking price is $39,900. Have this under contract for $30,000. As you can see, these are the same subdivision comps, and you can see it ranges from $75,000 up to almost $100,000. So this thing needs some work, but we definitely got a deal on our hands here. Again, this is the same subdivision, so that's always good. Also, this property comes with a vacant lot next door, so it's actually really good. Now, if you know, I do the majority of my business in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade counties. I have done deals all over the state, but that's kind of my base of operations. I suggest everyone kind of have their power base. So I'm working to sell this, but whether it's an area where I don't typically do a lot of business or I do, I typically go through this same process and I do mailers, meaning direct mail to cash buyers every Friday. Sometimes I just pick a zip code kind of at random, but if I have a property under contract, I'm always trying to get buyers to come into that to that area. And the thing is, even if you don't get buyers for that, you collect the information. So if they don't buy now, maybe they buy the next time. Maybe they buy from you 10 times. It's like always this exponential return that's coming back from doing this process. So check it out. We're looking at 304 Central Avenue, Frostproof. This is my website, cashbuyersdirect.com. Now, here's the thing, and here I want to provide a little bit of clarity for you. Okay, so if you go here, you pop your information here, you do get a report. Obviously, this report that I wrote here, Copious Cash Buyers, got a lot of good information in there for you, some of which we'll touch on this video, and then there's even more details in that thing. And then you will get a list of 10 free cash buyers in whatever county that you request. Now, two things here. Yes, oh my gosh, he plugged this site on his channel. So weird. But really, that is free. Now, with that list, it is static, meaning that some of the buyers on there can be older. Some of those transactions might be from 2015, 2016, depending on your county. A lot of people send me emails and say, hey, these are like older buyers, older transactions. What's the deal? Well, two things. Number one, if you do choose to buy a full list, those will be recent buyers, usually within the last 6 months up to a year. But we don't sell them if there's less than like 300 on there. So we'll be several hundred buyers within the last year. Also, just because buyers were buying in 2015, for the most part, especially if these are seasoned investors, this is how they're making their wealth. This is how they're sending their kids to college. This is how they're, repurposing money they've, saved up or reinvesting it in their life. Chances are, if they were buying properties and rehabbing them and flipping them and buying rentals in 2015, they're probably still active. Now, of course, not everyone is, but they could be. Someone who just bought a property for cash, last month, they might be living in it. They might be still rehabbing. They might not be ready to work on it. So some of it is random. Some of it's a toss-up. But don't write it off just because it's from, let's say, 2016. I mean, you wouldn't be like, hey, this surgeon was performing surgeries in 2010. I don't know if I still want to go with him. It might mean they're just more experienced. So yeah, you can go check that out. You do get the free buyers list, and then if you want, you can purchase a full list. Another thing I find really funny, like people email and they're like, "Are you just trying to sell a list?" Or it's another one. It's just a funnel. Oh my God! It's like, yeah, you caught me. Oh my God, he's trying to sell information. Yeah, it's typically how business works, man. Like, yeah, it's a funnel. So people are very offended by this. But anyway, yeah, it's so I'm just telling you that that's just straight what it is. The first thing is free, and then if you want to buy it, go ahead and buy it. For people who want more than the free stuff, yeah, there's the option to purchase it. I'm not really trying to hide that fact. But anyway, so when you do that, You will get the list. This is what it looks like. Also, I do want to clarify, hey, and because I got an email the other day and it said, hey, I could just find this information. And yeah, I actually say that in the video. Here is the ebook that comes with it. And you absolutely can. I'll show you why, and I'll even show you how you can find it yourself. So if you don't want to buy the list, by all means, don't. But basically, when a property is purchased, and in the public record, they record the lender. So right here, we see a purchase. It's got the lender name. So, there's a mortgage there. When there's no lender, the purchase was made with cash. And so that's how these lists are compiled. So you can, by all means, go ahead and figure that out yourself. It's just that when you go to my site, it does save you quite a bit of time. So I already have this list pulled here, and it's pretty simple. Let me kind of walk you through what this information is showing you here. So it comes in a Excel form or a comma separated value. If you don't have Excel, you can open it in like Google spreadsheet or something. But basically, we have the first name, last name of the buyer, and sometimes they're LLCs. Now, I've also gotten questions saying, hey, I want actual cash buyers, not LLCs. And just to clarify, a lot of people, especially seasoned investors, make their purchases in LLCs. LLCs are still cash buyers in these cases. You should absolutely be trying to do business with these people. In a lot of cases, it just means they're serious because, they have an LLC. So the address, this is the address where the buyer, their mailing address. I'll tell you why that's important in just a moment. This is the property they purchased, and then some information, the price and the date that they purchased, so on. Now, why is this stuff important? Okay, well, check this out. The property address is important, obviously, because it shows that they're purchasing in that area. But the mailing address is important because, and I want to show you guys a little example here, when the purchase is being made and the property is being deeded over, that's the information that they have to provide. That has to be the public record, and all the documents that get signed, the closing that goes on there. The tax man, that's where he's sending the stuff. So you got properties involved, your property appraiser, you got like I said, where they send you your tax information, everything, all the docs from the closing go to that address. So 9 out of 10 times, that's a really good way of contacting that buyer. That's a legit address. So if we go back to my example here, this is the property that we're trying to sell here today. But this is another one that I'm offering. Now, this would be good for rental. So I'm just going to pull up the property appraiser site. And I've got that pulled up here. And all you have to do is just Google search property appraiser and then put in your county name. So the address here was, let's see, 2334 Northwest 13th Avenue. So we search that, and here it comes up, and you can see it here. The site address here is the property, but then the owner here, you can see the mailing address is separate. So that's a really good way to get in contact with these guys. Now, the next question I get, and the one I get the most is, like, Mike, where are the phone numbers and the email addresses? And these lists don't include that, and this is the reason why. Number one, like I told you a moment ago, the mailing address is really the best place, or probably the most reliable place to get in contact with these people. When you have things like phone numbers and email addresses, and I know there are lists out there that do sell that information, and you can get them, but what I've found is, number one, a lot of the email address, these are from people who are kind of self-selected. So when buyers come to my website, there's obviously a capture box where they can put in their email address so they can get added to my buyers list. Now, a lot of those might just be people who want to monitor my inventory, maybe some of you watching this video. Also, it can be other wholesalers, either trying to JV, co-wholesale, maybe go after you, put in backup contracts, whatever it is, or it could be a lot of tire kickers. So, lists that have email addresses, those are, I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not always legit. If you also just start spamming emailing to hundreds of thousands of buyers, I don't think that's a very good way to get a quality list. Things like phone numbers, again, these are people who are self-selecting in. It could just be other wholesalers, tire kickers, you don't really know. But also, with the phone number piece, like back in the day when everyone had landlines, it might be a little bit more reliable. But nowadays everyone has cell phones. Those phone numbers, when you're doing skip tracing and stuff like that, they're not as reliable, honestly. And when you do skip trace, these lists are very, very inexpensive. I had a one-time sale for like 20 bucks, not even that long ago. So we're talking hundreds of buyers for like 20 bucks. If you're going to go ahead and skip trace these, number one, I would never do that because you don't know if these people even, want to do business with you. And number two, you can pay anywhere from, let's say, $2 to $25 per per person on here, or if you're doing monthly fees, it could be $100, thousands of dollars. It all varies. And then at that point, the skip tracing really is only it's not 100%. You might even get like a 40% return rate. And then on top of that, are you really going to sit there and call 1,000, cold call thousands of investors? Now, you could do that. I'm not anti cold calling, but I do think there's a better, smarter, and more efficient way to do this, which is why I like the direct mail so much. Also, on that note, this is how you kind of have your list filter itself. When you're sending stuff out to, let's say, phone numbers, be it by text or you're just calling, or even if you do the email address and you don't get flagged as like spam or something like that, you're just adding these people to your list. When you send a piece of direct mail and somebody calls you back or emails you, they're self-selecting, saying, hey, I want this information, I'm very much interested, and then they have that track record of buying already. So this is a very, very good lead. And what I do with folks like that, I really believe in the concept of relationship building. So you're not just, my best buyers are not just an email address on my list. These are people, especially when they call me, I take the phone call, I have conversations with them, I get to know what they're looking for. In my system, I have an extra flag to let me know that they're serious or that I've talked to them. I might put some notes in there. I also have a questionnaire where I go through exactly what they're looking for, so I can kind of hyper target these people and also treat them. They do get the general email blast that everyone gets, but they also have other criteria where I can reach out to them individually, and I guess you call it like a VIP list, right? So that's why I choose to do these things this way. Also, another concept of direct mail marketing, you got to be doing this on the regular. Like, you can't just send someone direct mail one time. Think about, if you get coupons in the mail. Any direct mail marketing, as Marketing 101 tells us, we should be touching our customers 6-7 times before they even acknowledge us. So you do want to be sending this type of mail over and over, but really it is really inexpensive, and you'll see in a moment it's a lot easier for me to just send a bulk mail, or even if it's like 1,000 pieces, out one time and be done with it, and even set it up on an auto follow-up, then try to be calling 1,000 people. That's just the way I like to do it. So let me show you how you're going to go ahead and use this list. So next question I get is, Mike, how do I use this information? Mike, do you have a template? And say, dude, did you read the email? Like, it comes with a PDF that shows not only how I do it and everything, but I actually have my template in here. So I've actually got two. Let's just scroll down. And I kind of analyze you and tell you why I write it this way and how it works. But there's one if you don't have inventory, and then there's another if you do have inventory. So that's the letter we're going to use now. Now, I'm a Mac user, by the way. I like using Pages and Numbers, the native Mac apps. But in terms of doing your own mail merge, which I'm going to show you in a second, I mean, the mail merge function in Mac sucks. So I use Microsoft Word and Excel. So we'll see here. The first thing I'm going to do is just open a Word document. And I'm using two screens here. It's blank. Right, so what we're gonna do is just copy the template, man. It's like right here. So literally, we will just All right, copy and paste. Real simple, right? All right, and we can take out the pictures that I had in there. It's for a different property. Okay, so this is the letter. This is what it looks like. Now the next thing we're gonna do is go to Tools and the Mail Merge Manager, and this is going to be here. We're going to create new form letters, and then get list. So I'm going to hit get list and go to open data source, and then we're going to see, where is it? So this is the list I just showed you guys, the Excel list, and then insert placeholders. That's taking a minute. Okay, so we got the list. It's taking a second. Okay, so there it is. You can see it shows where it's going to pull this data from. Now, these are the headers that I had, if you guys remember, in here. Right, so I had the first name, last name, address, city, state, all that good stuff. So when you do the mail merge, it pulls in right here, and all you do is just drag them over. So even where I have first name, last name, I'll show you guys how to do it. You do first name, just drag it over. Space, last name, right? And then for the sake of the video, I won't necessarily do all of them, but then I say, I introduce myself. I'm a full-time wholesaler specializing in acquisition of real estate of distressed and discounted real estate and then, I would change it here So it'll be Polk County. You know, I understand you recently purchased a property at, you know, property address. So again, this is pulling the data from the sheet. And you just put that in there. And you're receiving this letter, and then I put some details in about the specific property. Like I said, for the sake of time in the video, I won't go through all of it. And then I said you can view the detailed description and all the photos. And here's my website. I'm actually going to put the specific URL to this property, so it's easier for them. They go right there, and then I have the whole slideshow. It's got 30 plus photos and all that other stuff. And I put my phone number and all that good stuff, right? So once you do that, you can preview this here. You just click the button, and it shows you. See, this is going to match up with the information here. So, you know, Simix Holdings LLC. I see you recently purchased a property at. Sorry, I dragged the wrong one. 11. This is actually their mailing address. I should have done property address. So easily correctable thing, but it should say property address. I see you recently purchased this property here. Blah blah blah. And then again, just follow the template, and then you can pull in the rest of this information. And then if you want to continue previewing the results, you just, you know, click, and for it automatically creates these letters for you, right? So the same thing here. Hey, what's going on here? Okay. So yeah, you can see like it'll go through each one. So Robert Glaze, he purchased, you know, Shepherd Road, right? And then you just confirm that it's correct. Sorry, that's the address again. So, 317 East. Okay. All right, but there it is, right? And then you would do that again, and then put your description, everything there. Then you just go here, complete the mail merge. If you click here, it'll just go straight to your printer and print, which is cool. And then if you want to see it as a new document first, you just click there, and then it'll bring them out into individual, you know, letters like this. You know, you scroll through. And then you can just print them from there. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I go to File, New Blank Document, and I want to make envelopes, right? I'm showing you guys how to do this at home. So the next thing you can do, you go back to the mail merge here. It's already open. Create new. This time we want to do envelopes. So this pops up. I don't typically use a return address. And then custom, I'm going to use an envelope size right here. So my envelope, okay, okay. So next, again, I don't use the return address. And then here, drag that over. And then I like to center this here. And then same thing, we're going to get list. We're going to open the data source. It is going to be from this same thing here. And it's going to be the same thing. First name, last name. And even though I jacked this up before, where I should have put property address, here's where we do want to put their mailing address, right? And then again, city, state, zip, blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. And then what I like to do is I have this font. It's just the bomb, the best one I found. It is called Sunshine in My Soul. And you can see it really looks like, you know, I've tried a lot of handwritten fonts. This one looks really, really good. Also, I like to use dark blue. And then again, if you guys just want to see what it looks like previewed, bang, it looks like that. And probably make it a little bit bigger. And this is that just so you get a really good open rate when you send these, right? So, and then again, we want to preview the results and see what these things look like. And then what I do is I use these envelopes here. And these are social envelopes. They're cool because they look like party invitations. Like, who's not going to open these? They come in different colors. And you could just get them at like an Office Depot or Walmart or something like that. Now, when I'm doing these things that are very like immediate, I need to send them. I've got a property, maybe I have a 7-day inspection. I print these at home, man. Like, I know I'm always trying to be efficient and maximize stuff, but when I'm trying to move fast, I print them at home. I call my daughter, and hopefully I won't get in trouble for some child labor, whatever. But let's call it bonding time with dad and teaching your children the value of hard work. I say, hey, babe, you want to earn 20 bucks? Let's do some work. That way, you know, you don't just give them, make them earn it. We sit down, we might throw on like like a Netflix show or something like that. We have daddy-daughter bonding time. We sit there, we'll just stuff these, 100 letters. It's done in no time. Throw some stamps on them, put a hand, stick stamp on there. Not like a stamp, but the one you peel and stick. It will get you a much better open rate and conversion rate. And you just and you send those out, and it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot faster. You get a really good open rate and response rate. Now, if you want, you can just send this stuff off to a direct mail company. It costs you a little bit more, but I'll do that if I'm doing, like, let's say, thousands, or if it's not property specific and I'm just doing my regular mailers, you can do that as well. Or you can see here how simple this is and how replicatable it is. You can have a VA do this on your behalf, and they can fill this out, and then they can send it to the mail company. And again, VAs, particularly if you use, let's say, someone in the Philippines, we're talking, $1 or $2 an hour. And I know that sounds like, damn, man, it's fucking cheap. But really, these people are working, let's say, from home. It'd be pretty dope if a lot of you I know don't get to work from home. They get to do on their own time. It might take an hour or two or whatever it is. And then to my understanding, that's the buying power equivalent of like $15 an hour. So really, it's actually pretty good. So I think those are like the majority of questions I get. I think a lot of it has to do with the phone numbers and the email addresses. But that's essentially how you do it. It's very easy, and it's very effective. The thing, just keep in mind, don't expect to mail one time and expect it to be all good. You really want to be doing that with some consistency. Let's see, I got some notes here, see if I missed anything. No, don't think so. But also, you always want to be building your buyers list. So yes, you want people to be able to communicate with you how they find convenient. So always provide a phone number to call me. I say email me, text me. I give an email address. I also do have a website that captures their information. The way I break it into two stages, actually. The first is just get their email address, but then just pop their email. I make it easy on them. Then I say, hey, if you want to give me more information, I can put you on my VIP buyers list, or I can give you a call, and then that's when they get the whole questionnaire. Like I said, I do that on the phone, but also I have a web version because I want to make it easy for people to communicate with me. Also, anytime you have a property under contract, always advertise it. Even if you have an amazing buyers list, which I do, and I can just send it and get them sold by email, you can still do this because I get people, how many buyers is enough? Is never enough. How much money is enough? Like, just keep building this thing, because even when you have an offer, it doesn't hurt to have backups. Even if you have an offer, it doesn't hurt to have competing offers and drive that price up. You can always have buyers, like I said, as backup, or driving prices up, or to purchase from you in the future, and things like that. So you always want to be growing your buyers list. Another thing that I do is when I get these properties, not only the email blast gets it first, and sometimes it just sells, or I get a lot of competing offers just from there. But I also do put them up on my website. They still go to Craigslist. They used to go to Backpage, but Backpage got shut down on some real shady shit. Where else? Bigger Pockets is their marketplace is a great place to put properties. MyHouseDeals.com is a great place to put properties. Facebook and Facebook ads, when you can do targeted marketing, is a really good place to put, showcase your properties. All social media, put it on your Instagram, your Twitter, everywhere. Hit up meetup.com, look into some of those groups. I just try to get as much visibility on my properties as possible. So this was just a quick tutorial to show you guys how you can do it from home. And like I said, I give you kind of two options. If you're not working with money, take the time, sit down, do it this way. If you do have some money, use a mail service. But again, there's something for everyone, and you can just really sell properties a lot faster for a lot more profits and stuff like that. So if you do want, like I said, you can do it yourself and find this information through the public record. But if you do want to save some time, I do highly recommend you go to cashbuyersdirect.com. If you don't want to pay anything and just use the free 10, those are real buyers, you can absolutely hit them up. The PDF book I showed you here is absolutely free. And if you want to stop there, you're more than welcome. That's fine. But if you want to get sucked into the funnel, oh my God, yeah, you can upgrade and you can purchase a list and use that to go ahead and grow your buyer's list. That address again, www.cashbuyersdirect.com. Thank you guys for joining me on this video, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Happy wholesaling. Peace.